Remember that paper you had to write in college, the one you put off until the last minute? I do. It was a 90-page monster of a senior thesis, and I knew I had to start early, but did I? Of course not. The rational decision-maker in my brain knew I should get cracking. But the instant gratification monkey had other plans. He lured me away from my desk with the promise of video games, YouTube marathons, and anything but work. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into a month. Still no progress on the thesis. The panic monster, usually dormant, began to stir. He knew a deadline was looming. Finally, with only a few days left, the panic monster went into full-blown freak-out mode. I was drowning in a sea of stress, fueled by caffeine and self-loathing. Somehow, in a sleep-deprived haze, I managed to crank out most of the paper in a 72-hour frenzy. I swore I'd never procrastinate like that again, but we all know how that goes. Procrastination isn't just laziness. It's a complex battle that rages inside our minds. To understand it, we need to meet the three characters who play starring roles in this internal drama. First up, we have the rational decision-maker. This sensible character represents the part of us that sets goals, makes plans, and understands the importance of getting things done. He's the voice of reason, urging us to stay on track and avoid the pitfalls of procrastination. But then there's the instant gratification monkey. This mischievous little primate lives in the moment and craves instant pleasure. He's easily distracted, hates anything that seems like work, and would much rather spend his time indulging in fun, but ultimately unproductive activities. He's the one who whispers, "Just one more episode, or you can start working tomorrow." And finally, we have the panic monster. This terrifying creature is usually asleep, but when a deadline approaches or the consequences of procrastination become unavoidable, he wakes up with a vengeance. He's the one who throws us into a frenzy of last-minute activity, fueled by adrenaline and fear. The problem is, the instant gratification monkey is a master manipulator. He knows how to hijack our brains and steer us away from anything remotely challenging or boring. He's a pro at rationalizing procrastination, whispering sweet nothings into our ears like, "You work better under pressure anyway," or "There's still plenty of time." And so we succumb to the allure of instant gratification. We scroll through social media instead of tackling that report. We binge watch our favorite shows instead of hitting the gym. We convince ourselves that we're just taking a short break, but those breaks have a way of stretching into hours, days, or even weeks. The rational decision-maker tries to intervene, but the instant gratification monkey is strong and persuasive. When the instant gratification monkey is in control, we enter a state of what I call the dark playground. This is the land of procrastination, where we engage in activities that feel good in the moment, but ultimately leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled. We might be watching funny cat videos or playing video games, but there's a nagging sense of guilt and anxiety lurking beneath the surface. In the dark playground, we're haunted by the tasks we're avoiding. We know we should be working on that project or studying for that exam, but the instant gratification monkey keeps us firmly planted on the merry-go-round of procrastination. The longer we stay in the dark playground, the worse we feel. The guilt and anxiety intensify, and we start to beat ourselves up for our lack of discipline and willpower. Section 5. The perils of long-term procrastination. So far, we've talked about the kind of procrastination that many of us are familiar with, putting off tasks with deadlines, but there's another, more insidious type of procrastination, long-term procrastination. This is the kind that affects our bigger life goals, our dreams, our aspirations. It's the procrastination of inaction, of letting fear and self-doubt hold us back from pursuing what truly matters. Long-term procrastination might look like staying in a job we hate because we're too scared to make a change. It might look like putting off writing that book or starting that business because we're afraid of failure. It's the slow, creeping realization that years have passed and we're no closer to living the life we envision for ourselves. Section 6. The 90-Year Life Calendar, a sobering reality check. To grasp the true weight of procrastination, especially the long-term kind, consider the 90-year life calendar. Imagine your life represented as a grid of boxes, each box symbolizing a week. In a 90-year lifespan, that's only 4,680 boxes. That's it. That's all the time we have to achieve our dreams, build relationships, and make our mark on the world. Looking at this calendar can be a sobering experience. It highlights the preciousness of time and the consequences of letting it slip away. Every box we waste on procrastination is a box we can never get back, and it's a stark reminder that we don't have an infinite amount of time to accomplish everything we want to do. Section 7. Taming the procrastination beast. So, how do we break free from the clutches of procrastination? It's not about eliminating the instant gratification monkey altogether. He's a part of who we are, and he does serve a purpose. He helps us relax and recharge. The key is to manage him, to prevent him from running rampant and hijacking our lives. One effective strategy is to break down large, daunting tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. This makes the task seem less overwhelming and easier to start. Another technique is to create a schedule and stick to it as much as possible. This helps to create structure and accountability. Section 8. Embracing the power of now. Procrastination thrives on the illusion that we have unlimited time, but the truth is, all we have is now. The present moment is all we can control, and it's the only place where we can truly make a difference. By learning to be more present, we can reduce the power that procrastination has over us. Practices like mindfulness and meditation can help us become more aware of our thoughts and emotions, including the urges to procrastinate. When we can observe these urges without judgment, we're less likely to be controlled by them. Section 9, a call to action. Procrastination is a universal struggle, but it doesn't have to rule our lives. By understanding the characters at play in our minds, by recognizing the dangers of the dark playground, and by embracing the power of the present moment, we can start to take back control. We can choose to live our lives with intention, purpose, and a sense of urgency, knowing that our time here is precious and fleeting.